Hello out there, YouTube! This is Wakeangel2K1 coming at you with a surprise review of the Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Trilogy Blackarachnia. I was not expecting this figure to arrive this early. I ordered her from the Big Bad Toy Store a few days ago and wasn't expecting the shipment until after Christmas. But here we are on the 22nd with 3 days to go, and here she is. So I just wanted a quick look at the box because they really went all out with this artwork. I mean, that Blackarachnia drawing looks amazing. It actually looks like she's reclining back and really bracing herself with the spider legs on her arms, which I don't think she did that in the cartoon, but it would have been badass if she did. You can also see characters in the background like Waspinator, Scorponok, Dinobot, her own beast mode, and is that the Nemesis? I think the Predacon ship, I think it's a Predacon ship, but I don't think it's the Nemesis. On the back, they just show off, Blackarachnia in both of her modes. Pretty standard stuff. On the side is pretty cool. You got Megatron. You have like a whole big cast shot. Is that freaking Unicron up there? Yep. Focus. That is Unicron. I really wanted to focus on the golden disc because that was like a big MacGuffin from the Beast Wars cartoon. Unlike the G1 cartoon, Beast Wars was the Transformers show that I actually grew up with. Even though I didn't really get a lot of toys from Beast Wars because, I don't know, back then nothing looked accurate enough to the show to satisfy me. I was always disappointed by how the characters didn't look like they did in the show, so I didn't really have any Beast Wars toys. Yep, it only took them about, freaking 30 years. Also, I just wanted to point out that this is, aside from the Masterpiece, the first time we've had a proper Blackarachnia toy in the Generations line, because, this was a Takara exclusive. Remember, I imported this one, so this may be a G1 homage, and yes, Blackarachnia is a G1 character because Beast Wars is in G1 continuity. But really, aside from this little anime thing with the gigantic knockers that are even bigger than the toy's exaggerated features, the artwork on this just goes really into a glamour shot for the fan service. This is really good artwork. So yeah, let's get Blackarachnia out of the box and see what's in there. And here is Blackarachnia out of the box, looking pretty amazing. But first, her packing material. It's a trading card of the Arc. Very, very holofoily. So holofoily that I'm not even sure if it can show up on camera properly. The back of it just has a picture of the golden disc. Are these cards randomly packed, or does she come with the Arc? And I wish these trading cards actually did something, like if there was a message when you collected them all or something like that, but whatever. The Blackarachnia figure is amazingly show accurate. Even the things I don't like I said sometimes when they go with the G1 accuracy, they do it to a fault. Yeah, well, the fact that the original show developers couldn't figure out what to do with the spider legs, so they just had them coming off of her biceps. But, I always thought that was a weird design, but whatever. I mean, I'm not going to fault them for being accurate in this case, because Blackarachnia's never really had an accurate toy outside of the Masterpiece. But man, if I spent all that money to get the Masterpiece figure, only for this to come out, the Masterpiece didn't even come out that long ago. I would feel really cheated, because, this thing looks amazing. Of course, except for that hugely expensive Masterpiece toy, the only proper Blackarachnia figure that's been released was this one. So, to a lot of people, she'd be going up in competition against this thing. Hiya! But yeah, let's get that in closer. She has her cool little grapple gun. It doesn't fire or anything. I mean, it's a completely separate piece from her that's actually packaged in the background of the package, so you don't even see it from the outside. And it pegs into her claws just fine. So I I was afraid a little bit that she'd have some no real hand syndrome going down, but nope, that pegs in just fine, so she can hold her gun. But I'm going to take it out of the way for now so that I can mess around with the figure. All of her legs are ball jointed here, and they are part of the bicep swivel. So you can do the thing, you know the thing she did in the show where all of her, like, I really don't understand how the mechanics of this were supposed to work, but basically every single one of them was a machine gun. So she would just point all of her legs forward like this, and then she just machine guns away. Like you have 8 machine guns installed. Why do you even have this thing? But yeah, I think that was just how they were trying to justify these ridiculous things. They do kind of just hang out there. I feel like if there was a disc here so they could rotate, like, even if all 4 of them just rotated as one big piece, I would have liked that, but it's fine. You can just rotate these around, whatever. You can, although, like, since they kind of stick straight out, you kind of wonder what you're going to do with them. Like, oh god, this would be such a pain to display. And I mean, I suppose you could bend them backwards, like they're taking up a little bit less real estate, but now they're kind of sticking way back there. Pick your poison. Okay, so head is it nods up back and forth on a hinge, and it's on a ball joint, so she has some expressive tilt. Rotate. She has pin disc shoulders and a little bit of a butterfly there in her shoulder, although I think that's a transformation joint more than anything. Bicep swivel, which does move independently of the spider legs, so you don't have to worry about that. Simple hinge elbow that goes 90 degrees. The claws don't move, but, just claws. Let's see, does she have a waist joint? No waist joint because of the way her torso transforms. Unfortunate hollow gap there, but I've seen worse. Pin disc hips, which get a huge range. Thigh swivels that are quite tight. They don't feel, they're tight enough that they support everything, but not so tight that I feel like I'm creaking plastic. Can go back significantly farther than go forward because of the sculpting of her crotch. Double jointed knees? Or is that a single joint that just has a big range? Yeah, it's a single joint, but it has as much range as a double joint. And plenty of articulation in the ankle. It goes forward quite a lot. It doesn't go backwards very far, but it does have a rocker. So, you can... Yeah, she is standing flat-footed. Yeah, very good. And I gotta bring this up. Hey, look at this. This is a female Transformer that does not have a gigantic backpack that dominates her entire her entire body. Would you look at that? This is her back kibble. This one little panel here. What do you know? I didn't think that Hasbro had it in them, but they found a way to make a female character with a normal sized piece of back kibble instead of just sticking the entire alt mode back there. Huh. Oh, I guess it can be done. Although I guess I am being a little bit too harsh because this is sort of the first female character in a long time that was actually engineered. When she was designed on the show, she had a toy in mind. Like Arcee and the other female Autobots from the G1 cartoon were never really meant to have toys, so they didn't really think about how the transformation would work. So I guess this is where they can idealize something. I just zoomed out, but let's zoom in so we can get a good look at her detailings. Because that face sculpt is immaculate. It looks exactly like her helmet from the original show. It's amazing. I think I love this. Look, it even has the spider eyes on the back of the head. I mean, they're not painted in. There's kind of lumps back there, but that works. She has this piece of back kibble, which is the only inaccuracy, and I will accept it because it's so small. I'm just happy it's a small piece. She has the spider legs on her boobage, which is show accurate, and all the spider eyes on her crotch are still there. There is a little bit of fuzz greeble to be her spider fuzz, because some spiders do have fuzz. I'm not sure if Black Widows have them, but whatever. Oh, and by the way, Predacon symbol on her chest. She's not a Decepticon, she's a Predacon. And I like the details of her feet. all of her details are accurate. She looks amazing. It's great. This is a super amazing, awesome robot mode, and I love it. Oh, I haven't actually transformed into spider mode yet, so let's hope that I don't find a reason to hate it like I did with the Arcee mold. Now, I would be remiss if I did not bring in the Takara Legends figure for comparison, and whoa, sometimes you forget just how big the animated figure is, because the Takara Legends was just a slight modification of animated Blackarachnia, who is like head and shoulders taller than this version. Oh, wow. Yeah, like, she of course is accurate to the cartoon model, so you know she has her legs on her back instead of on her arms, and she has kind of a big old spider butt. I guess a bustle, like you know when those Victorian era dresses had that big thing on the back that was supported by like hoops and stuff. Yeah, kind of like that thing. That's what she has on the back. So yeah, like. Not accurate to the original G1 cartoon, but it's the animated version doing her best to homage the G1 cartoon. So, you know, give her some credit. But yeah, very nice. So, let's get to turning this thing into her spider mode, and hopefully it will live up to this amazing robot mode. Darn it, I swear I wasn't setting that up. That was a complete accident. So there are, I don't know if this is going to affect everybody's figure, but mine has mold flash, leftover plastic from the sprues where they cut the figure out. That prevented this bicep swivel from working properly, and when I tried to rotate it for transforming her into spider mode, the tip of her finger snapped off. I had to glue it back on. Now for the rest of my life, I'm going to be having to be super delicate around this point because I'm always going to be afraid it's going to fall off, and it's so tiny that if it falls off when I'm not looking at it, it'll get lost and I'll have a Blackarachnia missing a fingertip. Oh god, let's at least the part was easy enough to pop off, so let me just cut off that mold flash so that this won't happen again. Like, ugh, come on, you're Hasbro. This is the kind of thing that I would expect from a knockoff. There was a little bit of flashing around her neck too, but like the piece of plastic was so thin that it just came right off. Yeesh. Okay. That should do it. Alright, if you're arachnophobic, you might actually want to stop watching because this looks a lot like a Black Widow's spider. I mean, there's some things that you can't really do away with, like her shoulders are kind of blatantly there underneath the spider head. And what a spider head it is. Holy crap, that's a spider head, alright. And all of its hideousness. Like, everything just works. Like, look at that. That's a spider, alright. Like, I want to hang this from a string, and wow! It's a really good-looking spider. The jointed legs, the ball joints in the joints are strong enough that it can support its weight, so you can even pose, make it look like the spider is in the middle of taking a step. That's super creepy and scary. Although it is a little bit hampered by the fact that all four of them swing on a single swivel. And that I think the folks at Hasbro kind of overestimated how well everything would peg together. I think yep. The whole, from underneath, like, Blackarachnia is basically curled up in a ball, like Samus Aran. And yeah, everything here is just, it's kind of precarious. Like, if you mess around with the spider too much, you start to unpeg things. Like, I think, yep, that was off center. There we go. Got everything back more or less. Yeah, and that's where weapon storage becomes a thing. There's two rectangular pegs on the bottom of the gun, which are supposed to go into these two slots on the bottom of her arm. And they do go there. But the thing is, like, since you can't really brace them against anything, like, when you try to push it in, you push stuff out of alignment and they don't want to go in. Oh my god, did I... Ha! Ha ha! I did it. I invoked Fettridge's Law. Nope, no I didn't. Damn it, as soon as I said it. Fettridge's Law is, I learned it from a reading comprehension test when I was in middle school, I think. But it's kind of a rule where when you try to get something to happen the way it usually happens, it doesn't. Like, you can have some examples of it are like you can have a toothache for several days, but then when your dentist appointment finally comes up, the pain goes away and the dentist can't find anything. Or what happened to the actual Fettridge, who was he was a guy who he wanted to take photography of a bird migration that had always happened on the same day of the year every year for all of recorded history, almost like clockwork. But the one year that he decided to go down there with cameras to document the event was the year that the birds arrived a day early. That's where the legend comes from. So yeah, that's what just happened to me. I could not get this thing to peg in for the life of me as when I was messing with it, but then it went right into slot as soon as I got it on camera. Of course, then as soon as I mentioned it, this is, oh no, and then it ejected it. So yeah, you're not going to get to store her weapon. You're just going to have to keep her weapon on the side. But fortunately, the weapon is not necessary to make the spider look like a spider. So it's okay. If you lose her accessory, you lose her accessory. It's a nice accessory, but it's not required. And that's fine. I would be more upset with the fact that it can't store if it wasn't for that fact. But yeah, oh my god, look at that spider mode. It's so cool and creepy and scary. It's awesome. I guess I should bring in the Takara Legends spider mode, which again is just kind of like a redo of the Blackarachnia from the animated cartoon. So it's like a stylized alien spider with a pair of boobs for mandibles. Like, now I'm wearing a bra on my face. But yeah, like, credit where it's due, it had these cool translucent eyes built in. That was fun. But, you know, like, this is actually what the spider looks like with the big round abdomen and the little head with the red eyes. That's cool. So I'm not speaking ill of the of this spider mode. It was a great spider mode for what it was, but this looks, for want of a better term, realistic. It almost looks like a Halloween decoration. Of course, getting her into this mode is kind of harrowing because, like I said, you're basically curling her entire body up into a little ball, and literally, like, this is a ball. But yeah, I like how everything neatly folds into itself. It's a complicated but good transformation. Just be careful and maybe wait until a second release because this one had mold flashing issues and I feel like they wanted to rush it out there. I looked up on GameStop and this thing isn't supposed to be coming out in GameStop until like February. So like maybe there was something wrong with the initial wave and they held it back and only some retailers like Big Bad Toy Store and Amazon got them at first. I don't know. But it is a Blackarachnia. I mean, this is the only other Blackarachnia we got, and yeah, that's really, it didn't do much to cover up its robot mode. It's just kind of around. She even has a pair of boobs sticking out of her back, and they're just hoping that you don't see them because they're black. But yeah, that's probably the best actual Beast Wars accurate Blackarachnia we're ever going to get. Again, aside from the Masterpiece, which costs at least, what, 4 or 5 times as much? So for $20, this is amazing. It's amazing. I love it. I'm not even going to waste your time anymore because you should be doing something to try and secure this because it's great. The only thing that I will say now is that I'm really hoping to get a Beast Wars Silverbolt because I want to reunite that couple. As a kid, I was hugely invested in Blackarachnia and Blackarachnia and Silverbolt's relationship over the course of Beast Wars. She was so mean to him at first, but he stuck with it and persevered, and they got together, and it made me so happy. But yeah, like my tsundere story arc of my youth. When Beast Wars came out, I was like freaking 10 or 11. Yeah, this is definitely something from my tween to teenage years. This is my actual childhood. Like the G1 cartoon, I wasn't born until the movie was coming out. I was born in '85. Most of the, at least the first season, the first 2 seasons of the G1 cartoon had already ended by the time I was born. So it's like, this is the true Transformers that I grew up with, and this is a fantastic representation. I'm really glad we're actually getting them now. Although, to be fair, they did have some good ones in the previous generations line, but we didn't get a Blackarachnia back then, so haha. Alright, I've bent your ear long enough. This is Wakeangel2K1. Oh god, I hope that they don't hold off on making a Silverbolt toy because they have like the Silverbolt from the aerial bots. Oh god, you think that because they use Silverbolt in the aerial bots, they're not going to make Silverbolt the Fusor? They wouldn't do that, would they? No, like just because the trademark... No, we're going to get a Silverbolt. Don't freak yourself out, Angel. Silverbolt is coming. This is Wakeangel2K1, signing off.